Hi everyone, it's Mark here. I'm the founder of the Arts and Culture Network, and I'm very excited to have this opportunity to chat to and introduce Sarah Bedell. Sarah, thank you so much for being a member of our gang and for joining me today.
That's a pleasure. I'm really excited to join. I love the Arts and Culture Network. I think it's a great environment.
That's kind. You were kindly telling me earlier about some of the things that you love about it. And you're a full member, which is great. Thank you for contributing. Somebody said recently they just wanted to contribute a little bit because then it would keep going, which is very, which is the great. I like that kind of micro membership sort of. I've absolutely sort of steered away from trying to get any grant funding for what we're doing because I hate paperwork and I don't like the hurdles and I'm risk averse.
Yeah.
So
well, those are two of the reasons I like it and wanted to join as well, because I wanted to just put something back. I love these micro membership things because it's so independent and it's sustainable as well, and it's and it just has an ethos of being pretty open, really, and I think we need a bit of that. So I love the random speed networking events. I think they're absolutely great. They're such fun, and the people that you meet are so interesting. And the other thing that I really like is that you don't have to pitch. In fact, we don't pitch. One shouldn't pitch, and that is such a relief because you just get to have interesting conversations with people, and it's about connecting then, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've had some lovely success stories along the way, and I think it's partly because we don't pitch. We start. You've got 5 minutes, so get to know someone, get to like someone, and start the process of trusting them, so that the conversations can follow on, and then opportunities for collaboration. As you know, we've had young people hired during those 5-minute meetings, which is hilarious.
I know.
Artists from 3 different continents collaborating on a digital show. We've had I think we have a specialist copywriter who's got 3 clients from the meetings. It's been I love it. So
yeah,
for the benefit of those who haven't been, do join us. It's great fun. It's free. It's just an hour. We do have an after party, which is quite fun as well, but and all the details are on the events section of our website. So it would be great to have, and we're doing a face-to-face in London on the 29th of September as well, which is starting to become a thing, which is great. Anyway, we digress.
Sarah, I just endorse all of that.
Well,
join. It's great value.
That's very, very kind. So you're in Westcliff in Essex by the sea side. I'm Riverside as well. Actually, that's a raging debate in our family. Actually, people say I'm going to the seaside. Technically, it's not the seaside, is it really? No. It's no. Still the estuary, and so it's not. And so I'm in Hullbridge, which is a little further north from Sarah, but I'm on a river as well, but I'm on the Crouch. So we're both very fortunate to be near water. I love it. So for the benefit of those who haven't had the pleasure of meeting you as I have now, can you let us know the kind of work that you're doing in our sector?
Yes, I'm an old-fashioned traditional freelancer where I provide support, and I really love collaborating with creatives, organisations, and artists who've got a really good idea or a really good plan, and they know how to do it, but they might need some help getting there. And so, I contribute with research, strategic planning, because I've been working in the arts for 30 years. So you do tend to see quite a lot of things. I also help with evaluation. I love doing evaluation and impact assessment. I think that when you're given the opportunity to look at whether something worked and what worked and why, that can be really powerful for you and your business and your organization. So I do enjoy that. I'm told that's unusual, but there you go. I also help people bring together applications of all sorts and sizes, the main funders, and again, that's because it can be really helpful to break down that process. Demystifying. I enjoy demystifying processes that people find it easier to do it for themselves.
I think that's your superpower. As you know, I do a brand discovery workshop, and I try to boil it right down to to an identifying characteristic, so that it's almost one word if you can. So I think you're a professional demystifier. I think that's quite nice.
Yes, that feels really comfortable, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. You see what good value you get.
What I call that, it's the wait what moment. So
Yes.
if you're at an event, you say, what do you do, Sarah? I'm a professional demystifier working in the arts. And they'll lean in and say, wait, what? They'll ask more, in a way that sadly accountants don't enjoy.
No.
But unless you're my wife, who often is introduced as a forensic accountant, and then she's Sherlock Holmes, of course. So I think I've written it down because that's going to stick now. You're the professional demystifier when it comes to strategy, research, evaluation in the arts. There we go.
Wow. Thank you so much.
I'm glad we're recording this because you can write that down.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Now, that's fantastic. So just so I often ask, the network is for introductions, connections, mutual support. So somebody watching this wants to introduce you to somebody. What should they look out for? What should they listen out for, perhaps, for that champagne referral, so that they can put you two in touch together?
Oh, my champagne referral is... I have two types of champagne referral, actually, because I like a variety in my work. And one would definitely be, perhaps having a long-term impact relationship with one of the big national organisations, where it's a regular programme where we can look at, how they track the progress that they're making in terms of engagement and audience development, and how that impacts an organizational culture.
Nice. And so what kind of, can you name an organization that would be a dream client in that respect? I tell you, the one that came to mind for me was Help Musicians, which used to be the Musicians Benevolent Fund. Is it something of that stature? They're national.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And yeah. or one of our larger cultural institutions.
Right.
Because actually, whichever art form you're in, this is an important issue.
Yeah.
I mean, we've known for ages that we had an aging population, and I think that COVID has kind of highlighted who does and doesn't participate, and actually who is working in the arts. I think that's the other thing. It's about looking at who works in the arts. What do
we're doing I'm also chair at Culture Chelmsford, and we're doing a mapping study at the moment to map out in the district of Chelmsford, which is down as far as Northamptonbridge and right up, not just the city centre. We're going to do the cultural hotspot map to try and find, so there'll be different intensities in the map, and if they're one colour, it'll be venues. If they're another colour, it'll be organisers. So we can visualise.
I love a good map.
I love a good infographic like that.
I love when I worked in the touring department. In fact, I'm looking at a map here that shows you the borough of Southend-on-Sea. But I love a good map. When I worked in the touring department, we would spend, it was a really useful tool. We would have coloured pins and we put them on the different venues, and you could see how the touring network functioned across the art forms. Being able to show people what's there and what isn't there as well.
Yes, it's an interesting one, because I've also been quite involved with Creative Estuary, and they identified hotspots in different places, where unusually dense activity, and then the opposite, of course. Why are there no choirs in that area of Chelmsford? Interesting. So I don't know how I got onto that, but yes. Anyway, now that's
that would be one kind of champagne client,
right?
The other type of champagne client is working with a small or an emerging or a new organization or individual, where they want to take that next step into growing. So they might want to actually have a business plan or an action plan for the very first time. And so what would be a champagne moment would be being asked to help them go through that process again, you know, for the period of time that it takes to evolve that and see it actually start. So working with them up to the launch, that would be another champagne one.
Okay, that's great. Well, wherever this appears, there'll be contact details for you accompanying this, which will be on the YouTube channel, embedded on the website in a profile, and then out to the LinkedIn group.
Oh, brilliant. Now, actually, I was going to say, is it good? Is it possible? I was thinking that this video will be so wonderful that it would be good to be able to put it on my website and say, I am a member of Arts and Culture Network. This is all about me, and this is why you should join.
I will send you the video once we've done
brilliant.
it. And you can
brilliant. Or to link it back to you, one way or the other. I just thought
you can either find it on YouTube and embed it, or you can publish it.
Oh, right. Okay. I'll speak to my in-house person about that.
Right. Excellent.
As in my 20-year-old.
Excellent. So now we're going to, this is the fun bit, right? Yes. So we've heard about the work you're doing and where you're doing it and who you want to do it for. So anyone who can refer you or needs some help in that respect can reach you as a result of meeting you here, which is lovely. But just to warm that conversation up a bit, what I'm going to do is play the arts and culture hot top 10 with you. Now, I should point out to everyone that you've had no warning about this. It's great fun. There's always a surprise in there. For example, I did not expect the head of Chinese art at one of our larger auction houses to cite hip hop as her favorite musical genre. So there you go. It's always a surprise. Are you ready?
Yes. Okay.
Sarah, do you have a favorite building?
Yeah, the London Coliseum.
Ooh.
I'm very fond of that building.
The one with it's got something at the top you can see from the Trafalgar Square.
The globe with the letters.
Yes, it does. And it's next to St. Martin in the Fields, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah. I love that. I think one of my great grandmothers got married in St. Martin in the Fields, which I loved. I'm a bit of an ancestry nut. So love that. Yes. I've never had the Colosseum before, but that's a lovely one. Okay. And what about a favorite book?
Oh gosh, that would really depend on my mood and what I was looking for from a book. But I think one of my all-time favorites, and it's a bit of a cheat, it's the Neil Stephenson's Baroque trilogy, which is so huge, it's insane. And he creates all sorts of links and connections that are actually then carried on in some of his other books. And it's really complicated, so you have to pay attention, but it covers an extraordinary period, you know, sort of the beginning of the Enlightenment, and it starts in, you know, 1665 kind of thing. But it's just a rollicking story. It's got sieges and pirates and vagabonds, and it's just a romp. And
who was the author again? Because I'm going to find it on Audible.
Neil Stephenson, and it's Neal, and the audio version is fantastic. The actors are superb.
Right, and that's absolutely going on my Audible list. Thank you for that. This is the side benefit of doing these interviews, is that I get suggestions too. I tell you, I did one of these yesterday, and somebody mentioned Into the Woods. And so I watched it last night as I was working. It was great. Now, do you have a favorite dancer, dance group, or dance style?
Oh, I love contemporary dance. And I was really privileged that I went to see London Contemporary Dance Theatre, you know, their last performances. And Little Red Rooster. What a phenomenal piece. I mean, it's years since it's been done, isn't it? But it will stick with me forever. And I love contemporary dance because they use all the different forms, all the different shapes, all the different heights. It's I find it interesting because you see so many different people on stage with contemporary dance. Love that.
Okay, now this one's tricky. I want you to assume you've been exiled from the United Kingdom for some unknown misdemeanor.
Oof. Like Ovid.
But you can choose where you live outside the United Kingdom based on your perception of that country's culture.
Okay.
Where are you going?
Well, I'm afraid I am going to cheat, because I spend time in Spain, and that is where I would be, because of the culture, because of the arts culture, the fact that culture and music and dancing and art is part of daily life, and you see it around you and about you, and because of the community culture as well, where people still have time to come together as a group, as a family, as friends. I think also, and I know it's been tricky there at the moment with the general election and the results, but actually it does have an inclusive feel about it, and you do feel that you're in a place that's looking forward.
Love that. Yes, I'll allow you to go to Spain, and you can have the odd holiday back here.
Thank you.
Now, because it is absolutely part of our culture, do you have a favorite sport, either as a participant or a spectator?
Sport is a real blind spot for me. I sometimes watch a football match. My whole family are massive Man City fans. They have the strip, they have the season tickets. Oh yeah. And it's just kind of missed me. I enjoy swimming. I do enjoy watching some athletics. And actually I have been enjoying the women's football.
Oh, good.
I have picked bits of that up. It's not particularly on my radar, but I will sit and watch that, and I have watched some of that. And I was saying to a friend just the other day that it is actually brilliant and amazing that all of a sudden the Women's World Cup is on the telly, and women's cricket as well. So
I read somewhere that a women's football game sold out. I think it might have been the cricket. I think it's wonderful. You could never have imagined that 10 years ago.
No,
you'd have women's football and women's cricket on primetime TV. You wouldn't have dreamt it. I think it's wonderful.
It is. It really is. It really is. And it's those things that you think, yay, great,
I also I wonder how you feel about the sort of the debate around trans in sport. Because I think I'm right in saying, I'm not sure if it's the boxing or it's the swimming, but they've solved the problem by having an open category. It's neither male nor female, so anyone, whatever their however they identify, can compete.
That would seem to be the obvious thing to do.
We're certainly going in that direction, aren't we?
Yes, again, and that's progress to me. I mean, we're talking, and I find it really problematic that there is so much debate about a very, very, very small group of people, and the way that it's being
sort of leveraged,
hijacked and language. I think it's very, very, I think it's absolutely awful, and I think we really should just be open, and we should be able to include everybody. We really, 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 really should. We should have more compassion, and we should maybe try and imagine what it's like when you do not feel as though you are yourself at such a fundamental level.
Yeah, you see, it may well be a physical disadvantage if you had if you did 400 meters freestyle in the Olympics, for example, and you said that this is gender open, right? However you identify, you can come in, you can try for this. Inevitably, in some sports that require strength and stature, there will be an advantage to the men in that. There
will, and I don't know how you allow for that or accommodate that, but maybe you could have different start times, that maybe depending on, and I don't know, you'd have to do it based on height and
The problem there, of course, and
muscle.
we're going down a rabbit hole here.
Well, exactly.
The problem, of course, is that the moment you distinguish in any way between genders in a race, you've got the trans problem will come back.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, they didn't they have? I know that the intersex athlete has been having problems, and they measured it with hormones.
Yeah, it was the level of hormones.
In most areas of life, I mean, we're talking about elite sports, aren't we? In most areas of life, really and truly, why does it matter, and why are we making a fuss about it? Really, yeah. Why? And I speak as a cis woman, and if somebody presents and identifies as woman, that is absolutely fine by me.
Yeah, live and let live.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
that's good.
Live and let live. What that is, yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. If it's not harming anybody, and I think it's really awful, I think it's really cruel, and I wish that people would stop and think about how this must make people feel when they're being talked about like this.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Right, back to our little quiz.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. It was a nice diversion. We could have talked about that for hours.
Yes.
Now, this is a little cruel. I'm going to limit you to one musical genre for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Which are you going to pick?
For the rest of my life?
Yes.
I think it would have to be classical then.
Okay.
Because you'd have the full range from early right up to contemporary classical music.
You would. You'd have the Hey Nonny No at the start, and you'd have Hans Zimmer's soundtrack for Dune at the end of it.
Indeed. Yes. Yeah. I think I will pick that for that reason.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. It'll give me the most choice.
And do you have a favorite visual artist?
I do love Van Gogh, and I particularly love his more abstract pictures, you know, with the mad stars and things.
Yeah.
But actually, I really like Steve Bell and Martin Rowson, and I think that they are two of our greatest artists. And I regularly buy their cartoons that I enjoy in my Guardian newspaper, of course.
Love that. And do you have a favorite play or musical?
Favorite play? Favorite musical? Well, the Threepenny Opera.
Is that?
I love Kurt Weill.
Oh, it's Kurt Weill, yeah.
Yeah, I love Kurt Weill.
Nice. That will do. And what about a favorite film?
Tricky. Oh, that is tricky. That is really, really. Oh, I know. I love Cabaret. I love the Liza Minnelli Cabaret. Yeah. Yeah, that would, yes, that actually, yes, I could watch that again and again.
That's brilliant. Love
and
that.
Sing along. So you get two.
Excellent. And finally, for this section, with the exception of me, who was the last person to make you laugh?
My husband this morning, actually.
Best answer.
I can't remember what about, but it was just a passing humorous remark.
There we go. Love that. That was great. Everybody now has a little bit more insight into what makes Sarah tick when it comes to the arts and culture sector, which is great. Now we're going to finish off with the this or that game.
Okay.
When I was a child, you might remember this, I don't know, but when I was a child, there used to be this show on TV where a celebrity would be plonked in front of a camera and the computer would give that person either ors and they had to say which one they wanted. I think David Beckham did one when it was kind of Blue Peter-ish.
I do remember something like that. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. There was like a heads-up display on the screen so that it looked as though it was the computer looking at the person.
Yes.
So I've stolen that concept. So
Wonderful.
I'm going to read you a list of either ors and you have to tell me, you have to choose one.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Excellent. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Radio or TV?
Radio.
High heels or trainers?
Trainers.
Car or motorcycle?
Car.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Concert hall or sports stadium?
Concert hall.
I was expecting that one. Cat or dog?
Cat.
Test the water or jump in at the deep end?
Test the water.
Bits or no bits
Bits or no bits?
in your orange juice?
Oh, bits, please.
Beethoven or Mozart?
Beethoven.
Library or museum?
Museum.
Be embarrassed or be afraid?
Be embarrassed.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Fiction.
Patterned or plain?
Patterned.
Sand or snow?
Snow.
Shopping online or in store?
In store.
Reggae or salsa?
Reggae.
Indoors or outdoors?
Outdoors.
Android or iPhone?
Android.
Start immediately or wait until the last minute?
Oh, start immediately.
Oh, so not you.
No, I have to start immediately. Otherwise, I'll leave it to the last minute. It's years of training, Mark.
I've started using this, right? So I'm trying to at the moment I've got procrastination up here and focus down here. Right?
Yeah. I identify with that.
Yeah. So I've got this. This is a 10-minute timer.
Excellent.
And I also have an hour timer. Okay. And I turn them over at the same time, but I've told myself I only have to do it for that long.
Fantastic.
But what ends up happening is the next time you look, they both look like that.
That is fantastic. That's really good. That's interesting as well, because it's that visual thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have the just start,
Just start.
Just start. Yes. And then I also have the make it ugly. Which is good, but I tend to sort of say, right, I'm just going to spend 10 minutes on this.
Yeah, and then 2 hours later you're still doing it.
Yeah,
it's actually a human condition. It's called stasis. We're actually designed to continue to do what we're currently doing.
Yes.
And that could be watching that shark documentary on the Discovery Channel at 1:30 a.m. that you've already seen before, despite a 4 a.m. flight.
Yeah.
So that if you can just switch, then you'll continue doing that.
Yeah, exactly. I love all of those things, and actually that's one of the things that I enjoy working with people is all the little things. So many people say, oh, I really struggle with this, or I really struggle with that, and you can say, yeah, I'm a sod for doing that, so I do this now to avoid it.
Brilliant. Where were we? Right, science or history?
History.
New York or Los Angeles?
New York.
Black or white?
Black.
Circle or square?
Circle.
Early morning or late at night?
Early morning.
Not me at all. Messy desk or tidy desk?
Shockingly messy desk.
And honest with it. See the future or change the past?
Oh, see the future.
Plan it or wing it?
Plan it, but sometimes end up winging it.
Bedroom door, open or closed?
Open.
Zombies or vampires?
Vampires.
Red or white wine?
Red.
Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Numbers or words?
Words.
Yeah. Mild or spicy?
Spicy.
Opera or chamber music?
Opera.
Whiskey
it's so historic. It's so hysterical, overblown. Wonderful.
Whiskey or rum?
Rum.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
North or South London?
North.
Stripes or spots?
Spots.
And finally, gold or silver?
Gold.
There we go. I love doing this.
It's great fun. That's really, really good. I enjoy that.
It's so much fun to do because it just gets you thinking. I have to add and change these slightly every time.
Yeah. And the sand and snow is interesting because I love being somewhere that's warm, but I don't go and sit in it.
Hmm.
So I actually do quite like the weather when you go skiing, but I don't want to go skiing.
Okay, yeah, I'm a bit like that. I found it either terrifying or boring. There was nothing in between.
Yes, yes, yes.
And the
There is a
faff,
moment where it's exhilarating because it's like flying, and then you
yeah.
think, how do I stop?
Well,
So I'm
that's
going
it.
quite fast now.
Yeah. No, I was having a we were having a glue vine, I think, and we
Yes.
were chatting to this local doctor, and he said he sees more people in his surgery who've fallen over in their ski boots in the street than actually on the slopes. You know, the amount. I mean, it's like tightly wrapped oranges and cling film. That it's not worth the effort.
No,
Right?
it isn't.
The benefits do not outweigh the faff. I mean, I will routinely throw cling film across the, what the hell, on
Yeah.
sellotape, not being
Yeah.
able to find the end of a sellotape.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So
I did go to Zermatt once. I have to say, I quite liked the sort of ambience and the lifestyle that didn't involve the skiing. And when I went with my aunt and uncle to look after their two kids while they stayed in a rich friend's flat at the bottom of the Matterhorn, and that was very posh, Zermatt. But my school skiing trips were not very posh, and I thought, bit too much faff here. It's a bit like sailing. We used to go sailing, and the boat was called Bedlam, which it was, and and by the time you've done all the stuff you need to do, it's like, what? And now we go sailing.
I know it's quite faffy.
Yeah. But
Sarah, this has been great fun, and thank you so much again for being one of our full members and being so supportive and coming to so many of our events. It's very kind of you to do this, and we'll get this published as quickly as we can. But in the meantime, thank you so much.
No, thank you. It's been a fantastic chat, and I've really enjoyed doing it, and I wish you every success. It deserves it.